Another Ashes test and another great advertisement for test cricket. I don't know what it is with England and Australia, but they're serving an absolute delightful summer, at least after the second test as well. And we'll bring it all for you in this episode of the Slip Cordon. Right, you're watching a Slip Cordon. Subscribe and please like this video before we meander forward. Boys, what have we just seen? A 43-run win for Australia. Anirudh, you must be absolutely happy, but I'm pretty sure Ben Stokes had given you something to think.
Yeah, Headingley PTSD all over again. But look, like how the first test match was burying the ghost of Edgbaston 2005, I think this felt like burying the ghost of Headingley 2019. But I mean, fair play. I mean, this is one of the most impressive Australian wins I've ever seen because England had the perfect conditions, had the better of conditions every single day almost. They won the toss on a green top, overcast conditions entire day. They bowled first. Then they went when they came to bat, the pitch was completely flat. The next day, Australia lost Nathan Lyon. Then on the fifth day, Australia were a bowler short and they had to try and bowl England out with the bowler short. Despite all this, Australia managed to, in the end, comfortably win. You can say on 43 runs is not like too close like it was at Edgbaston. So this is, I think, I would put it as one of the most impressive wins for Australia this century, probably because considering the sheer, uh, you know, I mean, there are too many factors against them in this match, and to come out on top was just remarkable.
Yeah, we'll move more on to the segments in just a bit. But Akash, your summary of that game, which had ebbs and flows, and it literally made every test match cricket fan realize why we love this sport so much.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, after the first test, right, we all thought that that's probably one of the greatest tests we've seen. And then comes this test where the pitch is dead. There's nothing after day one, the initial session of the day one. And for both teams to go out there and just produce a result and, I mean, beat each other at it, right? It was wonderful. And not to forget that, I mean, Stokes played one hell of a knock, but if you look at it, Cummins said that they had a plan for Stokes and they had to change the plan, which is something that I didn't see Australia do in 2019. They were kind of doing the same thing, and that's something that that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned from 2019 is that when something is not going right, you should have a plan B, and that's something Pat Cummins had, and they really exploited that well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at England and they'll go back to the drawing board. I'm guessing they lost that game, I don't know, in the first morning when they had the perfect conditions to bowl, or they were 188 for one, the sun was out, and they managed to just get 325. We'll break it down with all the other fascinating subplots throughout the segment. So, of course, like this video before we move forward into our first segment, which is, of course, called The Verdict. Right, in the verdict, we actually asked these two to, of course, give us a little bit of a brief explanation of what we've seen in the last 5 days, some burning hot topics, as a producer suggests. And I'll start with you, Anirudh. The fact that the whole hue and cry on Twitter was a stark catch. Was it out? Was it not out? What do you feel about that, for starters?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that it was clearly not out because I don't know why Stark did what he did because he caught it cleanly and then he could have, if he just did this and put the ball in his palm and slid using the back of his hand, it would have been out. But he slid like this, which was, I don't know, it was just a brain fade in my opinion. I don't know why he did that at all. And you cannot do that. There is no argument. You can't argue that just because he caught it like this and he slid the ball, it's out. The law clearly states that you have to be in the control of both the catch and your body. So if if Stark had slid, in a different manner, or he had not put the ball on the grass, I think it would have been out. But he has himself to blame. I'm completely okay with that decision. I think it was the right decision completely.
Okay, let us know in the comments below, agree or disagree. And of course, Marius Erasmus came out to do an interview with Sky Sport, and he said listen, we're completely vindicated in making that decision. And they went back to state all the rules of the game. And look, you look at lots of catches, every time we see wicket keepers just throw it up. Essentially, they're taking that little bit of time. So I think it was out. Let's go to the other bit of controversy that we saw. Was the Bairstow one out? Surely it was. It was a little bit dopey from Johnny Bairstow there. Akash, I'll put you on the spot. Sum that up for me, please.
I mean, you don't need me to sum it up. Stokes himself said that it's well within the rules. That's all you need to know. It's well within the rules, and I don't think England have kind of understood or have their grip over two important concepts, which is run out at the non-strikers end and run out at the strikers end. And today was clearly the second one. And it was not the first time. If you actually watch the highlights after that, right, the short package they showed on TV, there was 4 or 5 instances when Johnny Bairstow was very careless and just walked off. So it was something that Alex Carey had observed, and it was something Pat Cummins also pointed out that it didn't happen once. It happened over I think 4 or 5 deliveries. So it was well within his rights, and he didn't ground the ball, right? He just picked the ball and then in one motion he just affected the run out. So I think it's careless on Bairstow. I mean, just 1 second, right? How long does it take to just hold your bat there for one more second and then walk out? And also Brendan McCullum can't complain. So let's put it there.
And one more thing is that
Yeah.
Ashwin also tweeted on Twitter, obviously, saying that the keeper will only go for such a run out if you have observed a pattern of the batter leaving the crease early, which is what Pat Cummins said in the post-match presentation, which is what Akash pointed out now. So clearly it was a pattern. He was doing it over and over again. And Carey, again, the rules state that the ball is dead only when the keeper has it in his hand for a particular period of time. Carey immediately caught it and then threw it, and it was a run out. And I have to point out one more incident here. There was a stumping which Ben Foakes inflicted in an ODI against Ireland. I think it was a couple of years ago, where he caught it. He waited for like 40 seconds, 50 seconds just before for the batter to lift his leg up, and then he dislodged the bails. Why I am pointing out is this because Stokes tried to take the moral high ground in the post-match presentation, saying that, oh, if it was on the other side, we might have taken into account the spirit of cricket, blah, 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 which is, again, when you have Brendan McCullum as your coach, you cannot speak about the spirit of cricket. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say.
Okay, the boys are pretty animated this evening. Good to see. Right, let's move on to the second segment, which is Stat-Tat-Tat. And this is where the boys will go up against each other with all the punchy stats of this test. Right, so we've of course seen so many things happen in the last 5 days, even in terms of numbers. You talk about Warner and those first inning stats. There's, of course, Josh Tongue, which comes to mind. But what do you boys have? And we'll give Anirudh the chance to have a first punch at Akash this time around.
Okay, I'll let Akash pick. Should I start with head or tongue?
Wow, interesting prospect.
Yeah, okay. I'll start with Travis Head. I'll start with Travis Head. So, in the last 275 balls he's bowled in Test cricket, Travis Head, he's taken 9 wickets at an average of 17.55. So, and I want to point out one more fact. Travis Head has more 2-wicket hauls in this Ashes than James Anderson. So,
Oh my God. He's dropped a bombshell over there. All the Jimmy Anderson fans won't like that. Akash, how will you revert?
Yeah, I mean, if he's talked about the head, I have to talk about the balls hitting the head. So this is in since 2006, the most balls hit in an innings on the bat, glove, helmet, or the body. It is this match, and it's 62 balls. So you can just imagine how brutal this test was for both sides. And after this, the physios are going to be in demand.
I think I like that one. I like that one indeed. And it was just honestly quite boring for a bit with the short ball cricket and all of that. But look, at the end of the day, let's see how that all unfolds. I mean, in the 3 matches remaining in the series. I need to go for it again. I mean, there's another stat, I'm sure, hidden gem somewhere.
yeah, from moving on from head to tongue. So Steve Smith might be the man of the match, and he was named the man of the player of the match, and he walked away with the player of the match award. But Tongue has got the better of him this summer. All 3 times, 3 times Tongue has bowled to Steve Smith, not just in international cricket, but also at the county level, Division 2. and the 3 times he's bowled to Steve Smith, he's had Smith all 3 times. So it looks like tongue is a kind of a kryptonite for Smith, although I don't think he'll care because he scored a century. So some moral win for England, because that's all it looks like. That's all they care about, and that's all they can win at this point. So congrats England and Josh Tongue on that moral victory. So yep.
That coming from a statty, salty Australian fan who could celebrate this evening. Why not? So, Akash, final one from you just to see if this is a level playing field in terms of Stat-Tat-Tat. What do we have?
So this is a pretty interesting stat, and they have flashed it so many times. So I'll just add on to it that in tests since 2022, Ben Duckett's leave percentage is 3.3%. That essentially means he only leaves one ball in, I don't know, 2 tests or 3 tests. So it's a very rare occurrence, and it happened in this test.
That is madness. I mean, Ben Duckett, the other one that he was telling everyone post-match as well, that he just generally doesn't like to leave, and he's just batted that way. So well done, Ben Duckett. And for all the stats man out there and the people who really love their cricket stats, check out our website for much more. Let's move on to the third segment of the Slip Cordon, and it comes in the shape and the form of In Case You Missed It. Right, In Case You Missed It is where we just pick out a couple of funny videos that we've seen, do the rounds on the internet, and of course, giggle about it. Here's the first one, boys. Now, that was a quick snippet of apparently an Australian proper cricketer sitting in the stands. I don't know where they get these costumes. Grumpy old Australians. Don't we love English crowds and all of that? Here's one Anirudh sent me just a while ago, which is hilarious. Now that is pretty much the Englishmen making a mockery of the Stark catch. They will exaggerate it for the years to come. Anything else that you guys found really chuckleable, if that's a word, on Twitter, Akash, Anirudh?
Yeah, so that I saw this one post about, so Broad was complaining about Australia dismissing Bairstow, and he was telling something to Carey that you'll be remembered only for this or something like that. So basically, Broad is searching for the cheater. He's the TV presenter and he's the cheater himself. And I'll give credit to at Anubhav _tweets who posted this. So yeah,
Well done.
so it exposes Broad's hypocrisy. Basically, that's the tweet about. So
The creativity is always there to see in social media. That's what we love. Akash, anything caught your eye?
Yeah, drawing from that hypocrisy, I just have 4 MCC members. So, yeah, that's a joke. They can do anything and get away with it. So, yeah, clearly they are the running joke right now.
They are the running joke. Let's run on to the next segment, and the final segment where you guys can win some cricket.com merchandise and help Akash and Anirudh win this particular quiz of Who Am I? Right, so let's get straight into the quiz, boys. Obviously, all these players are either Australian or English. We're sticking with the Ashes theme. Here's the first one of the day, and it's this man. Now, he supports Newcastle United. He made his test debut against India. And in 2015, fun fact, he became a football manager. Who are we talking about, Akash and Anirudh?
I have to admit that Shaunak told me the answers before the show started.
Okay, would you have got it? Would you have got it?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
looking at the picture, yes.
Yeah.
Akash?
Yeah, looking at the picture, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Looking at the picture, I can kind of...
Let's see if you get the second one then. Because this man has just played one test, and his wife is an Olympic runner, and he also had his final ODI appearance in the beautiful city of Guwahati. So who is this man? By the picture, you can tell he's an Aussie. So let us know in the comments and stand a chance to win some crazy cricket merchandise on cricket.com. And remember, the person who comments with all the 3 right answers first wins the merchandise, so to speak. So I've mentioned 2 players there. Let's see if the boys can tell me the third. And this was a little tricky initially, I felt, when we were testing it out in office to other colleagues, but they eventually got it. I don't know if these boys will get it too. Now, this man was banned from driving for 20 months in 2007, apparently for a drunken sort of rage that he had in the roads. He also has played for Delhi Daredevils and Melbourne Stars, and he's also taken the wickets of Kohli and Williamson. I'm guessing in his international career, because that's a vague third clue, but yeah, let us know in the comments, essentially. Right, so
Seems
finally, guys, I have to end this show by asking you a little moment of appreciation for Ben Stokes, right? I mean, lots has been kind of served his way with the results not going the way, but the particular knock that he played. I mean, I'm just running out of words. Shades of Headingley, yes, but is there anyone else in world cricket who can really dazzle and light up Test cricket like that? Akash, you first.
I mean, there's only two words: clutch player. I don't think anyone could get more clutch than Ben Stokes in international cricket. Every time you write him off, right, saying that, oh, I mean, it's just not, it's nothing. He just comes up with an innings that you can't really define. You can try defining it. You can say all the things. You can kind of paint the picture, but the way he just evolves, right? The way he brings one. I mean, you can see. You think of it, 2019. You'd say, okay, probably this is one hell of an innings, and he can't top it. And then come to the T20 World Cup final again. He's played one hell of an innings. Now, if you think that okay, two is a merry, right? And then he's done for the third time. I mean, this is not a win, but technically, this is probably one of the best innings that. I mean, technically, no, statistically also, this is one of the best innings because he's hit 9 sixes, which is the most in an Ashes inning. So accolades don't stop anywhere, and yeah, I just have one praise for him that there's a good chance that he can be Chennai's next captain. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely coming out of the kitty for sure. Anirudh, just looking ahead, because it's not so much of a turnaround time for the Headingley Test. Obviously, there'll be changes. No Nathan Lyon, so I'm guessing Todd Murphy. England also will have to make some wholesale changes to get things right. How do you envision that, and your take on that, please, to sum up the show?
Yeah. Just before I answer that, you asked Akash, is there anyone else who can dazzle as much as Stokes in Test cricket? I think maybe someone who averages more than 35 with the bat. I don't know. Just taking shots because Akash gave all the praise. But coming back to your serious question, so I can already see Australia making two changes for the next Test match, which is Hazelwood out, Boland in. Lyon out, obviously, and Todd Murphy in. I don't think they'll make any other change. It is pretty straightforward, and I think Stark will keep his place on the back of his performance in this test. Very impressive. When it comes to England, though, I think they'll have to change almost their entire bowling attack, maybe except for Josh Tongue, because they've bowled like almost. I don't know. Today was the first time England batted more than 80 overs in the series. Meanwhile, Australia have done it 4 times. So you can imagine the workload that has. The number of miles in the legs of the English seamers, and they bowled about 100 overs of non-stop short bowling as well. So Robinson, Broad, and Anderson and Tongue all must be absolutely cooked. I definitely can't see Anderson playing at all, because if not for being rested, I think he'll be dropped for his performance, certainly, because he's been the most non-threatening bowler across the entire series, Travis Head included. So Anderson is out of the Headingley Test, in my opinion, definitely. I have to see whether they'll keep Broad or not, because I can't see Robinson playing as well. I think Robinson is also getting rested at least. So I think Wood will come in. Maybe Matthew Potts comes in, and they have to take the decision whether Moeen Ali plays, because Moeen is fit now. Jitan Patel, the bowling coach of England, said that Moeen is fit and ready to go. So I can say England fielding a bowling attack of Broad, Potts, Wood, and maybe Moeen, or maybe Potts, Tongue, Wood, and Moeen. But it's going to be a completely different bowling attack. That is for sure. Otherwise, they're going to suffer. And hopefully, we get a better pitch, because I have to say the pitches in both the Test matches, even though they've gone to 5 days, it's been, oh man. Apart from a couple of passages of play, it's been so dire. The batsmen have to make mistakes for the wickets to arrive. So I hope we get a spicier pitch and a 2-3 day finish. Why not, right? So hopefully.
Why not? Why not? We'll be all there to cover it for you guys on cricket.com in terms of the live blog and, of course, the third test review with these boys in the Slip Cordon show. Thanks so much, Akash and Anirudh, of course. Guys, it's a new month of content, so keep liking our videos, subscribe to the channel, of course. And there's plenty of build-up to the West Indies India series on our social media platforms. So what are you waiting for? Follow us wherever you can. Until the next time, so goodbye from me, Abni Shaidi. We'll see you guys shortly. Have a fantastic week ahead.